Hey, this is Jason with Coffee Crafters. It's the first time I've ever said that. And in a previous video that I made with Ken Lathrop, we mentioned that when I purchased Coffee Crafters, I also brought in a partner in the endeavor. And so I wanted to introduce that partner, Chris Hammock. Chris has actually been a part of Coffee Crafters for almost 5 years. He's a little bit behind the scenes, but such a vital part of the company. So Chris, tell us a bit about your role with the company, because Coffee Crafters kind of changed the way they made roasters several years ago, and you were a part of that transition. So
Yeah.
what was that transition, and how did you play a role in that?
Yeah, so I joined Coffee Crafters, I think it was like February 2021. At that point, Ken, Coffee Crafters was selling the Artisan 3E and the Artisan XE. That was it. We were buying all of our like body panels and parts from a company. So we would get shipments of pre-made, powder-coated, hardware parts, and then we were just assembling and testing and then shipping. And then we just started running into issues. Parts would be delayed. They would just say, hey, that shipment's come in 2 weeks. We have no control over that. They'd also just start increasing prices. Bills would just double. And once again, we have no control over that. So that's when Ken made the decision, hey, let's get some of our own manufacturing equipment. So we got like a laser, a brake press, hardware machine, some welding equipment, all that stuff, so we could bring that manufacturing in-house. So I just kind of helped transition from buying Artisan 3E and XE parts to then making the same part, but just doing it ourselves, which gave us a lot more control.
And it also totally changed the way you guys approached prototyping
Yes.
of roasters. How did that change prototyping?
Yeah, so that was the other thing I was brought on for, was to make a bigger roaster. And we tried, like I would design it and send it to a company to send us the prototype that they would build. The price tags were ridiculous, and they were months out. And when you wait months, you kind of keep working on it. You make multiple changes every day almost. It would just you would never get it done. So being able to change it yourself and make it yourself just gives you freedom, and you can actually make prototypes.
Yeah, and so fast forward to today when we've got a Volenta 3, a Volenta 8,
Yeah.
Volenta 12, Volenta 18. Those all came out over the course of 12 to 18 months. Would it have been possible to do that if you were outsourcing the prototyping and testing? Of
I don't
roasters?
think it would have been possible, because every change would be months of waiting time. And there's so many changes you make, because every time you test, you just learn so much.
Yep.
You got to make those changes. And yeah, it would. I mean, we would be still trying to make the Volenta 7,
Which was the first
which was
Volenta.
the first one,
Yeah.
because we would just still be waiting for people to send us new, like edited parts.
You guys failed countless times in designing and refining that roast chamber. Do you know roughly how many different prototypes of a roast chamber did you make on that thing?
It's definitely double digits. I mean, it could be 15 or 20 of them, honestly.
So to outsource the development of those would have just been ridiculous.
Impossible.
So you were key in developing the entire line of Volenta roasters, weren't you? Like every CAD drawing for every Volenta out there was done by you, correct?
Yeah. Now we obviously took all the like stuff Ken learned, and me and Ken learned together with the Artisans. Took the same components, the motors, the electrical, but then just tried to make it more efficient. And yeah, it was trial and error for a while. And then once we started figuring what worked, that's how the 3 and the 8 and the 12 and the 18 kind of came faster, because we had some knowledge already. Yeah. Once the 7 was out there.
And so the interaction between you and Ken would study the market. He would come up with ideas. And then he would kind of cast the vision, and then you would kind of execute that vision that he would cast. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, Ken would kind of just walk into my office and be like, "Hey, I want to make this."
Yeah. And then you
let's start making it
reality.
Yeah, let's start making it. Let's start testing.
Yeah.
Just make changes, improvements.
And so that synopsis right there is exactly why I needed to bring Chris on as a partner in this, because as I would talk to Ken about taking over Coffee Crafters, that was a key role that you just can't replace. So obviously you know SolidWorks inside and out.
Yep.
So SolidWorks is the CAD software that can be used. But it's not just designing the CAD parts. You do airflow simulations to help do some prototype testing digitally before we even build a prototype. So you could certainly find the engineer that knows SolidWorks and could do the airflow simulation. But Chris can literally do every step of the manufacturing as well. So he can take those drawings and send them to our industrial laser cutter and cut out the panels. And then he can take those panels into the press brake, which you have tolerances of like 0.003 of an inch that you target on that press brake. So highly accurate bends that are being done. It's state-of-the-art laser welder. He can do the laser welding. You can cone roll the chaff collectors, the conical chaff collectors that we build. So literally, Chris can do every single step of the manufacturing. That person doesn't exist. Like you just can't find one person that knows all of that. So it was critical that Chris remained a part of Coffee Crafters, and so I couldn't imagine a better person to bring in and have an ownership stake in that. So just super excited that you're continuing your role at Coffee Crafters. Everyone knew Ken. Most people, I think, knew Bryce from Coffee Crafters. Bryce, still a critical part of the company, isn't going anywhere. I think you've been a little bit more behind the scenes, and so now people get introduced to you. So let's talk about what's next. How are things changing now in the coming year to 18 months? Anything that you want to talk about there?
Yeah, well, we're always trying to improve stuff, always trying to develop new stuff. So we do have some new projects that we're testing right now and designing. I don't know, how specific do you want to go?
We can say it's a smaller entry-level roaster, right?
Yeah.
So we do want to try to find something that could appeal to both maybe a home roaster that wants to jump in, and then could possibly use that as a small production roaster as well. So working on that. I have teased that we have more than a concept of a sample roaster that we're working on, but from a technology standpoint, we're not going to change. We're not going to rewrite the entire book, because we have such a solid foundation in the Valenta series. We don't want to throw any of that out the window, but we do want to make small changes where it makes sense from a roasting standpoint. So maybe we can give the end user a little more data over their electrical feed, right? What voltage and amperage are you pulling on that? Because a lot of the problems that, or troubleshooting steps that we deal with are often a result of voltage issues that have nothing to do with the roaster. So
definitely help customers troubleshoot, because that's just stuff's going to fail eventually, and if they can just pinpoint it right away, make their life easier, I think that helps us. It also helps the customer, so kind of a win-win there. And just keep making improvements if we can.
Well, Chris, I'm so excited to be a part of the company. You've already been a part of the company now, just a slightly different role. So I've told him he can make up whatever title he wants, and we'll run with that. So I'm fine with it. So thanks, everyone. Good to have you.
Yeah, thank you.